What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing. I didn't know if you were done.
So rude, as usual, as per usual.
That's me.
Yeah.
Super rude.
Super rude and sleepy.
I am. I have like the afternoon sleepies.
Yeah, just before we started the show, she was like, I'm really sleepy.
I need a nap.
Pretty much. What's happening, guys? It's Sunday live haul. Hold on a second here.
I see a lot of our friends in Florida in the chat. Hope everybody is battened down and full of snacks.
Full of snacks. I heard, who was it? Somebody said that they bought all the snacks and then they ate most of the snacks.
I saw that.
And the storm hasn't even come yet.
I saw that was earlier in the week. They're like, I bought snacks, ate most of them.
Well, because it was like going to hit this weekend, it's going to hit Monday, and now they're saying like Wednesday. I don't even know what the latest is since I'm not in Florida and I haven't been paying close enough attention. But anyway, what's up, everybody? It's Sunday live haul. It's Sunday. Shocker. Shocker.
It is Sunday.
But welcome, everybody, and to any of you who maybe are new to the show. I don't know. I realized that, like, I would pretty much never say who we are.
You never introduce us anymore.
I don't. I used to, but
I'm nobody, and now.
Yeah, pretty much. But I am Katy, and this is Vikki. And actually, we do sit on the correct sides to coincide with the name of the channel. So Katy and Vikki. That's how it goes.
It's true.
It is true. Thanks for the support.
Yep. And what happened to the AKA? I used to get other stuff. I used to say I'm Katy and this is Vikki, AKA.
Yeah, so continue.
No, because I can't introduce myself. Rude.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to let things go if you've been doing the same thing over and over and over again. Oh, good golly. Jen Lee says that she's loving my Jaws hat. Yeah, and I'm wearing my ET shirt, so I kind of have like a whole Amblin theme going on right now. Little Steven Spielberg thing going on.
I see.
I was trying to decide between wearing my Jaws hat or my Goonies hat. So it would have been pretty cool.
I am no longer AKA Victoria.
Oh, are we going back to that again?
Yes,
now?
I'm not done. I am not done.
Sorry, guys. This is Vikki, AKA Victoria, AKA LVPinkPeacock, AKA my fiancé.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the introduction that was supposed to happen.
And Jen likes my good golly. Anyway, Cheryl hitting Jaws when a hurricane's coming, and she said ride, but I'm pretty sure she meant to say rude. Yeah. You know.
Seriously, this should be my nap time. Waste not, want not, mow. Like it makes me. I need a nap for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Allison says, AKA sour cream snob. Yes, that's me.
Ooh, you're right. I could come up with different ones every week.
You could.
Oh, you may have made a mistake. Next week you're going to be like, I'm full of regret. I never should have brought that up because now I'm going to have to come up with some new AKAs every week.
All right.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge on.
Yep. Anyway, guys, really happy to be here. This is pretty much our favorite show of the week, and we have a ton of awesome stuff that we got. We did a lot of sourcing. We did.
I did a little too much sourcing this week.
No such thing.
Week.
Here's the thing. This is what happens. Okay,
it's Q4.
This is what happens. I mean, usually when we go out sourcing locally, I never end up with like a crazy amount of stuff, but sometimes she does because she gets anything and everything. As long as it's going to get her above a certain price point, there's more stuff she can end up with. And so it happens somewhat frequently. We'll go out for the week and she'll end up with this crazy amount of stuff. And then she starts lamenting, guys. She starts her lamenting about how she's got too much stuff. She's not going to have to source for like a whole year. Or she'll say,
I never say that.
But she'll say, I'm not going to need to source for at least a couple of weeks. And then she's like, I have too much stuff. It's just too much. And then literally 4.5 days later, she's like, I'm running out of stuff. I need to go. Because the thing is, she gets it listed right away. She does it right. So yeah, but
it's true.
It's a never ending cycle. So basically what I'm trying to say is get over it.
Thanks. It's true. And right now I am trying to take advantage of all the good stuff that I see out there, because, you know, it's like the market is good right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's stuff out there, so much stuff out there. So in Q4, I feel like I can never get enough stuff. So
no, but I mean, luckily we live in a place where we have a lot of different thrift stores, and because the weather is so amazing here, most of the year, we usually have, you know, pretty much yard sales, estate sales, stuff like that happening pretty much year round for the most part.
The yard sales slow down a little bit. Like even actually right now they slow down because while there's still a lot there, people are done by 10 o'clock in the morning because it's so flipping hot that, you know, nobody wants to be at a yard sale or outside at 115 degrees. It's too hot. So
yeah. But I don't remember who it was. Somebody commented on our sourcing video that I put up yesterday about, you know, that they never are able to get that much stuff when they go out sourcing. And, you know, usually I'm not either, because of the way that I source and because I'm so limited in what I'm looking for. I have a harder time like getting ginormous hauls locally, which is when I have to do more online sourcing and finding, you know, like I got like a 3 different lots from eBay this week, as well as from one of you guys, Jennifer Goodale. I don't know if she's in the chat or not, but and so I have to do that. So it takes a little bit more effort, and I have to find stuff to be shipped into me in order to keep stocked up. But this is one of those weeks where I haven't had one in a long time because we were away in July and all this, you know, stuff going on, and not able to just get as much stuff coming in. This is like the first week where I went into picture day yesterday, and I had like my whole rack was with the rods like extended on both sides. We're totally jam packed with all kinds of good stuff. So I'm pretty excited about the holiday.
Ooh, garage sales are gone in Chicago. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, we have a ton. I mean, and the good thing is estate sales do go all winter. And so do garage sales. Garage sales pretty much only shut down December and January here. And even then you can still find a couple. Because it doesn't, I mean, we don't get snow and it doesn't get super cold. It gets down to like 40 or 50 during the day here. And when we have our cold snap of winter for like 6 weeks, but that's about it. So, you know, you can still find a few.
Yeah. And you know, if I wanted to do more local sourcing, I could. I mean, we have a swap meet, the, what's that thing called on Friday nights?
It's Broadacres.
Broadacres. We have the Broadacres swap meet that's every Friday night. And that one, you know, I haven't been in a long time, but it's a good source. I usually find some decent stuff there. If I wanted to spend a whole day going to yard sales and garage sales and estate sales, just specifically looking for clothing. And that's the thing, when I go with her, that's not like the number one thing that we're looking for. So we tend to tailor the places that we go around stuff that she's going to want to pick up to sell. But yeah, I could spend a couple more days sourcing a week and probably pull a lot of stuff locally, but that's just not the way I like to operate. I don't want to put that much time into it. I'd rather find it from somebody else, let them do a lot of the work. I get my one day where I go out and shop, and then the rest, I'd rather just buy it from other people and pay up a little bit.
I would love to shop every day. Don't get me wrong. I would like to do a little circuit and shop every single day. It's just, it gets too tiring. I think that's how you end up with a huge death pile. It's way too easy to shop. You got to like buckle down to.
You know, I would honestly, like, it sounds, I mean, for me, it's like when you think about it, it's like, oh, that sounds like it'd be great to just be able to source all the time and have somebody else do all the other stuff. But honestly, for me, I need that balance, because like when we have, for instance, when Lorna comes into town and she's here and she's focused on, she wants to be able to get as much stuff as she can. So we source that
several days. Yeah.
Right. So we end up sourcing like 4 or 5 days in 1 week, and it's like too much. I mean, in my opinion, it's too much for me. It's like I need that balance. I need to have like the other part of it where I get to go through and process everything, and I get everything all cleaned up and take pictures. And then I like the listing part. It's like I just have to have a good balance of it. If I do too much of the other stuff, then it's like, oh, I just want to go out and do some sourcing. But anyway, Cheryl said I wasn't going to source today, but Katy called me out. So apparently it's my fault that Cheryl out. And then she found like a San Marcos blanket, didn't she?
Yes.
So it's pretty funny.
And Teresa, for some reason, is watching where she can't watch the chat, so she's messaging me here. So apparently, we're gonna go to Phoenix next month.
Well, this month.
It's September 1st now. So we're gonna go to Phoenix later this month, it looks like, and hang out with Miss Teresa and do a few days of sourcing.
That sounds good to me. Oh, she found 2 San Marcos blankets.
Oh,
that's pretty
Cheryl.
exciting.
Woo, woo.
That's pretty exciting. All right, so this is our Sunday live haul show. We break it up into 3 parts. The first part is our numbers. We look at our numbers, kind of break it down, what our gross sales numbers were, and then we kind of do, it's not super scientific because we do kind of guesstimate for our cost of goods and stuff like that. This is just kind of a visual to be able to see what we're bringing in each week and kind of a breakdown of what our numbers are so we can be as transparent as possible. Then we go into a little sales highlights of things that we sold. And I always follow your lead. And so when she has a great week, she's like sends me like 10 different things that she wants to show during the sales highlights. And then if I'm not having such a great week like this week, then it's like, oh, here's all the things I sold this week.
Sorry.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Anyway, no, it's fine.
So we get a couple questions in chat. Jen asked if I've ever considered owning my own estate company. I have so much knowledge about so many different things. I've never thought to do that. It's a good question. Maybe when I'm too old to do the online thing and the sourcing thing. It seems like a lot of estate sale companies are run by little old ladies. I can see myself doing that.
Yeah, probably.
There's a lot of competition here in town, though, I have to be honest. There are a lot of estate sale companies for a small-ish area. This is, Vegas may sound like a big city, but it's really not. The square footage of the valley of Vegas and North Las Vegas and Henderson is a fairly small area, and there seem to be an awful lot of estate sale companies. So, I don't know that I'd want to be cleaning out people's houses. I don't know. Depends on. Who knows? I'm sure there's good money in it. I've done it before.
Yeah.
I've done estate cleanouts on a case-by-case basis, but never as a company, but always as a reseller.
See, and that's where it really depends on like what you're into. It's like there's some people who like doing the storage lockers because they like that, digging for the hidden treasure. But then it's like you got to deal with all the other stuff. I'm just not like, I would just rather have it kind of curated for me. At this point where I'm at now, it's like I don't want to have to deal with all the other stuff that's not as valuable. Anyway, then the third part of our show is when we go into our haul and we show you some of the cool stuff that we found this last week, which we found a lot of stuff. You found a lot of stuff.
I had a great haul week. Yeah. And there's some I didn't even bring up here.
Yeah.
Like, well, there's a lot. I always just bring the highlights, but there was actually quite a few really good pieces I didn't bring up at all. So
yeah, for sure.
That I showed in the haul video.
Yep. Very cool. Anyway, I wanted to show something. This is just, anybody, we talk about like feedback and stuff like that on eBay and how it's not really necessarily like that important. It is to a certain degree, but people tend to like focus on it a little too much sometimes.
It's a legacy program.
I mean, it's nice to have it. It's nice to know. It's you don't want to have like, sometimes you get like a negative feedback that maybe is unfair. It's like you don't want that stuff hanging out in your account. So I get it. But for the most part, it's not that big of a deal, especially once you get past a certain number. If you have a lot, you have a lot. Who really cares? But I will say that on Etsy, you don't get the feedback as often as you do on eBay. But on Etsy, you tend to get better quality feedback is what I've noticed. Because on eBay,
I had one really bad feedback on Etsy.
Ooh, yeah, I remember that. But on eBay, a lot of people, for one thing, they've kind of automated their feedback, even buyers, where you'll get a feedback and you'll be like, that's weird. That doesn't even make sense for the thing that they bought. And then you'll go look and you'll see that they basically left the same feedback for like the last 20 people. But on Etsy, you don't get it as often, but you tend to get like more personalized stuff. That's like, with pictures even sometimes. And so it's kind of cool. But I just recently got a feedback from somebody. It was actually, if you were watching last week or the week before, I had sold 3 t-shirts to one guy, and he was actually a repeat buyer who had bought multiple t-shirts from me before. And so he actually went and left feedback on my store. I'll go ahead and show you that. You can see his name just because, it's on my store. If you go look at my store, you can see it. Anyway, he gave me 5 stars. It says, favorite store online, great stuff, and love how measurements are included. So I thought that was super cool. Because like on Etsy, it is a little different than eBay. I think you do tend to have more people shopping stores. Here, I'll show that again. You do tend to have people shopping stores more than you do on eBay, where people will actually come back and look again and stuff like that. So I have like a number of repeat buyers, but it's kind of cool to be like, I'm like a favorite store for somebody. That's kind of neat.
Fascinating.
Why are you such a jerk? Go take a nap. Jeez. Uncalled for.
You're very loud.
Sorry, I was just tooting my own little horn a little bit.
I can't nap.
You couldn't just play along with the melody. Maybe do a little harmonizing with me instead. No. No. So rude. Guys, I don't know how I get through this.
All right, we're 15 minutes in. Can we get to the numbers, please?
You do need a nap. So crabby. So crabby. Anyway, guys, let's get to the numbers, okay? I'll show mine first.
Please do.
So rude. So stinking rude. All right, which one am I sharing here? Okay. All right, guys. Here we are. This is these are my numbers for last week through yesterday. And yeah, my sales, I got 18 things going out for eBay, 7 going out for Etsy for a total of 25. Yeah, thanks. Oh, now you can support what I say?
Yeah.
In the negative? eBay gross sales $1,083.41. My Etsy $424.93. Total gross sales for the week $1,508.34. And my shipping costs, of course, they're a little lower when I don't sell as much. $133.51. Promotion fees across the 2 platforms, $72.33. And there are all my fees calculated there. Total cost $374.09. And my cost of goods, roughly about $160. So my total net sales after costs, just under $1,000. So pretty meh for me. $974.25. My gross average sale price, $60.33. So that number at least is pretty good. My net average sale price, $38.97. Yeah, exactly.
At least it's not negative.
Thanks.
At least it's not negative. Cheryl had to. She's right. Maybe Katy had to have a pity week. It was a sympathy week.
Yeah, pretty much.
For my last week.
Isn't that what every week is?
Monstrous
compared to Vicki's
stuff. Usually.
Anyway, all right, let's go on to Vicki's.
Well, I'm happy to say that my week is back to normal this week. So 47 eBay orders, 5. I'm combining Etsy and Mercari. I'm going to have Teresa make me a new chart that has Mercari. But their fees are about the same. Etsy fees are 8.5%. Mercari fees are 10%. So it's about the same. So I had 3 Etsy and 2 Mercari for a total of 52 orders, $22.96 and 78 cents in eBay sales, $295.60 between Etsy and Mercari.
Mercari is what, like $73, I think you said?
Mm-hmm. $25.92.38.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, my shipping was a little high. I did have some international shipping, and I had 2 really expensive pieces that shipped. So my shipping was $422, expensive meaning the shipping cost was high. $43 promotion fees, $295 eBay final value fees, $26.60 Etsy fees for a total of $787.15. Cost of goods $204, which is about right. I'm generally 10% or less of my total sales is my cost of goods. So total net $16.01. Gross average sale price $49.85, just about $50, right about where I want to see it. And then my net is just over $30. Yeah. So pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. So Sunny says, have you noticed that your sales have cut in half as what you usually make? Not for Vicki. Vicki's those numbers are pretty much That's pretty
good. My numbers are pretty much, I have been between $2,000 and $3,000 a week every single week this year. Mm-hmm. With the exception of last week.
Yeah, like 10,000 plus a month. So
I did not have a summer slowdown at all. I will say my July and August were about $1,000 less than every other month, but it's starting to come back up already.
Yeah.
Like I was just over 9,000 total gross between eBay and Etsy for July and August, but my numbers are starting to come back up, and I'm still well over 40% over last year.
Yeah, and I'm up over last year too, because eBay is probably about what it was last summer, but with the Etsy, I'm up overall. So,
I don't. Have you noticed the merch selling at starting bids of 1 cent? Yeah, no, I haven't seen that, Sunny. I actually don't do auctions at all, so I may do one or 2 auctions every few months. Mm-hmm. And I don't have very good luck with them, so I don't use them at all, really, unless I have something really odd.
I use them when I'm buying stuff. So there.
Yeah. because
I like them
that's
when
how
I'm
you get a
sourcing.
good bill. Yeah, you get a good low buy. So,
Yep.
All right, so I guess we'll get into the highlight of the sold items.
Okie dokie. Let's see.
Do we sell on Amazon too, or just eBay and Etsy? Just eBay, Etsy, and I just started on Mercari. I've literally had only 2 sales. I've been on there for about 2 weeks now, and I have like 75 items listed. It's not very many. And Amazon, I do merchant fulfilled on maybe a dozen items a year. Nothing fantastic.
Yeah. All right, we'll start with you. What you got here? What's this thing?
This is just an antique wooden planer.
You ever used one before?
No, I know what they do, but I this is the kind of stuff I used to find all the time in New England. So I was pretty excited to find this. I purchased this in that big lot of items I got from those people across town. I got a whole bunch of the Raggedy Ann stuff and the tin toys and things like that. So I paid about $5 for this. It sold for what you see there for $75. It's free shipping, but it's heavy, but it's not really big. So it's probably going to go cubic in a little box.
All right. Very cool. Very cool.
Or box in a bag. We'll see.
There you go. All right. First one for me. Now, this is actually like something I would never, ever, ever pick up now. I got this like back in Oregon. That's like terrible. I know, right? Like, I don't know why I bought this. Is like literally, I probably had this for over 2 years.
It's the kind of stuff they sell at the flea markets.
Pretty much. And what's funny is this one's like got holes everywhere in it. It's like all ripped up. I don't know how you can see it in this picture. There you go. See the side? It's like all ripped there.
What the heck?
It's like ripped.
That's awful.
I know. Ooh, I'm getting offers. What's up with that, man? Anyway, it's all ripped up. And yeah, I would never, ever buy this now. I wouldn't bother. It's not vintage or anything like that. There's a million of these out there. And so hey, it took me
bad Maryland representation too.
I know. It took me a couple of years, but I sold it for $35. So weird. I think it's kind of funny. All right. Well, next one for you.
All right. So let's see. Cheryl. This is a beater lac blanket that I sold for the price that you see there, $75, free shipping. It's going to cost $12 to ship it. It's not one of the super bulky ones. It was a little bit smaller.
I like this one. It's cool.
And I paid about $5 for it. So Kimberly asked, merch with Amazon. Yeah, I've had merch with Amazon. I've had a merch with Amazon account for 3 years. I don't use it because I don't know how to do Photoshop and I don't know how to design things. The only thing I've ever had up there is, and I don't have time to come up with a bazillion different ideas and things for revenue. Katy has a merch account as well. Yeah. The only thing we have up there is our Boss shirts, and I had some for my my Pink Panther stuff before too.
Yeah. You done with this one?
Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
I was trying to answer the question.
Next one is this cool little Hilly 100 t-shirt. I love these. I love t-shirts that are like event, like running t-shirts or like, 10K marathon, bike rides. I think these event t-shirts are really cool. This one's from 1987 and it's just like a cool design. I like it a lot. Speaking of tags, I always tell people this is how you learn your tags is when you find t-shirts that are dated. So this one's 1987. You see the Screen Stars tag. This is kind of like
quintessential
later. Well, no, it's this one you'll see in the 90s and the 80s. So it's going to be like after 85. So later 80s, early 90s, and then like the quintessential Screen Stars tag is like that one that's kind of the beige, kind of the tan beige one. That I think I have some shirts today that I'll be showing you guys. And those ones are 80s for sure. This one can be 80s or 90s. So, but anyway, I love these event t-shirts and I have a bunch of them to show in today's haul.
Ooh, lucky us.
You're so rude. So rude. Do you want to go take a nap during the show and while I'm showing my t-shirts? Okay. Sounds like a good idea. Go ahead.
So I showed these a few months ago. I had picked up 4 or 5 of these. I've sold this. The second one I've sold so far. This is the children's one. I did take an offer on this. I sold it for $125. I think I have about $4 or $5 invested in it. These were just gorgeous, gorgeous pieces of vintage or antique embroidered Chinese clothing. And this one doesn't have a closure on it, so it's someone has to put like snaps or buttons or something on it. So I took an offer for $125. Like I said, I have like $4 or $5 invested in it. I think it's really pretty.
Very cool. All right. So Red Hill Vintage wants to know, do you lower the price of shirts where someone has removed the tag, but you know it's vintage? No, that doesn't really make a difference to me, because when it comes to like vintage, like 80s and 90s t-shirts, I can tell if they're like actually vintage, whether they have a tag in them or not. So that doesn't really matter to me. And anybody who that's going to matter to, or the legitimacy, I guess, of its vintage, they're going to know if it is or not. So, I mean, I like it when it has a tag in it, but if it doesn't, I don't really, it doesn't affect how I price it at all.
There's one question there I wanted to answer. If you could highlight the question that Jen asked about anyone else panic with the used perfumes. Yeah, so did anyone else panic with the used perfumes, lotions, hair stuff restrictions last week? I did not. I did see there was a lot of panic going on in all the boards and across social media. And as Victoria said, there was a lot of clickbait YouTube videos about it and stuff like that. I knew the reality was that it was something that somebody changed that they would eventually iron out on the back end in eBay, because there was no way they were going to eliminate those categories. And I was correct, because they have changed it, and now used is still available in all of those categories. It's just certain cosmetics and things like that you shouldn't be selling. You should be selling them under collectible and things like that. Things that actually touch, like, you can't sell like used eyeliner, right. Stuff like that, used mascara. But, partially used perfume and cologne, partially used bottles. That's cologne. You're not putting it on your body. That's entirely different. And that's always been something that is available to be sold. And I knew that they were going to back off on that. And they did. That the used category, the used drop down is back. It took the right people talking to the right people. Whoever programmed it was not talking to, eBay customer service, obviously, because nobody was giving out the right information. I knew it just took everyone talking to the right people to fix it. So, yeah.
All right. Next one for me is this sweet Guess fanny pack. This is actually something that I bought. I did a little online arbitrage a few months back when these because I've bought stuff from the Guess website. They send me like catalogs and stuff like that. And so something came up with this particular line they were going to be doing. I thought these looked really cool, and I looked them up, and I just figured I would buy a few of them. So I bought 3 of them. I think I paid like $30 a piece. I've sold 2 of them for $97.99 each. They're just cool. I really like the coloring on them. I think they're just kind of neat. And they're like a collaboration they did with this J Balvin. I don't know. Anyway, I think he's like a Latin singer or something like that. Spanish language singer. Anyway, I just think it's a pretty cool fanny pack. Pretty dope.
It's very, very 80s looking, like very 80s.
Yeah. Kind of got the retro vibe going on. I think it's cool. I like it.
I don't remember you buying those.
Yeah. Well, I didn't make a big deal about it.
All right. Sorry. So I picked these up in a estate sale maybe a month ago, 2 months ago or so. I paid $10 for them. I probably could have held out for a little bit more money. I did take an offer. I took an offer for $175 on these. And I'm fine. $10 into $175. I don't really have the need to hang on to them a ton, but they were great. And they actually had a price on the bottom that they were down to $129. That was the price on them. So I'm like, nah. They were on clearance at, Nordstrom Rack or something like that when the person initially purchased them. So, and all these people talk about cleaning the bottom of the shoes and all this kind of stuff. I left it right there and put it right in the listing.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Just waste of time.
Put it right in the listing, writing on the bottom of the shoes. But they were brand new. There were stickers on them and stuff. So.
Very good. All right. Next one for me is this awesome Pacific Surf Lines t-shirt. This is like, I think pretty, this is pretty quintessential surfer boy. 90s, early 90s.
Stripe,
yeah. T-shirt. And I got this at Buffalo Exchange. So I paid like $12 for it. I actually took an offer, $39.99. I'd gotten lots of lowball offers on it. And so then somebody offered $40. I'm like, that works for me. Because it's just kind of one of those ones where it doesn't really have any like branding on the outside or anything like that. It's really just about the style of it.
It didn't have like a big logo or
there's no logo on it at all. And so, I was a little bit worried that like I would have a harder time selling it, but $40, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
This was one of those items I picked up from that garage sale. Actually, it was a Craigslist ad. One of many items I've picked up from this person. I've listed them all at this point, and I've sold several. But this one I took an offer for. I sold this for $175 as well. It was listed for $229. It was listed for about 3 or 4 days. I had best offer on it. For some reason, these best offer prices are not showing up, and Flipper Tools is not showing it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things you have to be very, very careful about, and I did mention this in the other time we talked about this, you need to make sure that you have an orange tip affixed to any type of fake gun or toy gun. And you also have to make sure that your initial gallery photo shows the entire gun, not just a piece of it. And
why is that?
It's just eBay rules.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you why they have the rules. I just know that they have them. And the other thing that you have to be really careful of is you need to put the correct verbiage in your listing that you see right here. This replica gun contains the colored markings required by law, including a permanently attached orange plug. That's the correct verbiage you need to attach according to eBay.
Okay.
So I always put it in the notes and in the item description.
All right.
If you do not have all of these things in place, your item will be pulled by eBay. You can get your account restricted. You could actually even have your account shut down. They are not playing games when it comes to toy guns.
Mm-hmm. It's not all fun and games, is what you're saying?
It's not. No. They're real careful about it.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure. All right. Next one up is this LA Lakers Nike satin bomber jacket. I actually got this from Barry, Afro Vintage. And I've had it for a while. I'm surprised it took as long as it did because it's a nice big size. It's a really nice jacket. But I took an offer for $120. Just a really nice.
Wasn't this one his personal jacket? I remember him saying no. Victoria said permanently attached. Yeah, you have to say the words permanently attached. I'm going to go on the record and say that collectors do not want you to permanently attach it to vintage toy guns because it ruins the value. So there are certain types of plugs that are not permanently attached, meaning it can be removed without leaving any damage.
Yeah.
So I don't sell Nerf guns, Sonny, so I'm not entirely sure about that, but I would look that up. Yeah. I only know about vintage toy cap guns and things like that.
I think anything that looks like an actual weapon.
Yeah.
I don't know that Nerf guns would fall under that just because they're not made to look anything like any kind of real gun.
The orange plugs are purchased. You can purchase them online. They're if you do a search on Amazon or on eBay, they do sell them. I'm going to tell you one of the easiest things to go and buy are those little spongy earplugs, orange earplugs that you can purchase at CVS or Walmart or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Those
you can cut and put in the gun, and you stick it right in there, and it, that works.
Yep. All right, next one for you.
So lingerie is something that I love, especially vintage lingerie. I don't really sell current lingerie, but certain vintage lingerie sells very well. And one of the things that sells very well is anything that has what's called a full sweep. And a full sweep is something that has a super lots. It's voluminous in fabric. So you have many, many layers of the fabric. So if you were to pull and stretch this out, you can see in the last photo, there are lots of photos. If you look up full sweep on eBay, you'll see people pull this out and they show it goes 6 feet across, from end to end. So this is I paid maybe $3 or $4 for it. And I did take an offer for $89.
It's very risque.
It's
very sheer.
It's naked mannequin underneath.
Indeed. All right. Next one for me is this awesome UCLA Bruins starter jacket. And on the back, it says Morrison. This is actually another one I got from Barry, Afro Vintage. And I had it priced pretty high, but I did pay up quite a bit for them. I think I probably gave them $50 for this because I got it in a lot with a whole bunch of other stuff. Anyway, and so I've had this for a while, and I actually did offers to watchers, offers to buyers this last week. And there was somebody who sent me a message, and she was like, "It's my birthday next week, and I really love UCLA is my favorite school, and I love Jim Morrison. I really want this jacket, but I don't have the money for it right now. because she had gotten my offer, and I said, go ahead and accept the offer, and I'll give you time to pay. And she ended up paying on, I think, Friday. Like she wanted like a week, but it only took her like 4 days to pay. But anyway, so the offer was for $245. This is actually, I think it's a really cool jacket. I love the Morrison on the back. Looks really nice. But yeah, it's just a pretty cool jacket.
It's a pretty cool jacket.
Yeah.
Got Red Neckerson. Got Nathan in there. Hello, Ewans. It's spelled naked. I spell it naked, and like with an E, N-E, naked. I hope you're having a better week, Nathan. I have been following you on the Facebook, and I know you're having a rough time taking care of mom and stuff. I hope you're doing better.
Yeah. Red Hill Vintage says, you both have great pictures. I bought the ring light today per the episode you did several weeks ago. Looking forward to better pics and higher sales. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's especially important if you're trying to raise your average sale price and you're trying to demand higher prices and better quality stuff.
Katie's photos are way better than mine. I have to admit, you'll hear me, if you watch the show enough, you'll hear me be like, oh, that photo sucked.
Yeah.
You know, she's a lot more of a perfectionist about it. But mine are definitely better than they used to be.
Yeah, well, I think when it comes to my stuff, you know, I'm selling stuff that's, you know, a lot of like probably younger guys are collecting, and they're not necessities, and so I really like to I put a little more weight into the idea of like impulse buys. And so if somebody's out, you know, doing some shopping and they see like a vintage T-shirt or a jacket that they really wish they could add to their collection, because these guys do collect this stuff. If it looks really nice and it looks like something they could imagine themselves wearing, they're more likely to drop the extra dough over the wrinkled one thrown on a bed somewhere. You know?
Right, for sure.
So,
question there from Tara. Do you want to highlight that?
Yep.
So here, you had mentioned that you're in Canada. So we only have good till canceled as an option here in the US now. I don't know if that is going to make its way over to Canada or not on the Canada site. But on the eBay US site, we only have good till canceled. We do not have 30 days as an option any longer. So,
but we didn't before anyway. We only ever did good till canceled.
Correct.
No, I think you dabbled in 30 days before, didn't you? Yeah. So we both just did good till canceled. The thing is, the way we see it, the way it was for us before, and now I think this is part of why eBay is doing it the way that they are doing it, is that when they've looked at the data. Stuff tends to sell after the 30-day mark.
They were saying somewhere after the 60-day mark. So somewhere between 60 and 90 is when the sweet spot is, apparently.
Right,
so.
Because you got to think about, like, you put your stuff up, it's got to index, it's got to kind of get put out into the interwebs, go out to Google and everything. And so it needs a little bit more time. I know there's people, it's almost like, you know, when you go to like, you know, we're in Vegas, so sometimes we go to the casino and you'll see like an old lady sitting at a slot machine and she's like pushing the button, but then all of a sudden she's like bam, 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 and like doing all this crazy stuff and like hitting the machines. And it's like they have like this this weird what do you call it, ritual that they do, like it's somehow going to like make it sell more. So I feel like there are a lot of sellers out there. Everybody has their own ways that they think work for them. And there's some people who would do like relist everything every 7 days or every 10 days and put all this extra work into it. But really what I think, in my opinion anyway, and eBay seems to back this up with the data that they've found to be true, is that you list your stuff, you have it up for a couple of months. Once you hit the 90-day mark, then you start to think about maybe you want to end it and do a sell similar to get a new listing, because maybe it's run its course at that point and it's a little stale. I don't want to have T-shirts like that one I showed earlier that I've had for 2 years. You know, I think it's been relisted a couple times, but still, you don't want to have stuff sitting around for that long. But yeah.
So there's another question in there from OGC Resale, which looks like a new, I don't recognize that commenter. So welcome if you're new. What percentage of your sales are from thrifted goods? So between garage sales, estate sales, and thrifting in general, 100% of my items are.
Yeah. Mine 90 to 95. I haven't done, you know, I'll go through phases where for a few weeks I'll be like hitting like all the Ross stores in Burlington, stuff like that. I haven't done that in a long time. So I would say probably 95% of my stuff is thrifted. And also I do buy from other resellers, you know, like bulk buys and stuff like that. So it's still thrifted goods. It's just somebody else.
Yeah. So as far as like thrifted, used, that type of thing. Yeah. So all of it.
pretty much.
Yeah. I do very little retail arbitrage. I think I have like 3 or 4 things in my entire store that are new that I've purchased for resale in general. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The light, I'm contemplating buying us a second ring light. I really want a second ring light for my mannequin shots and for my hard goods because there's still a lot of shadows.
Mm-hmm.
One ring light is actually perfect for Katy because Katy has everything on that one mannequin and it's flat against the wall. So she has no light could get behind it. So there's no shadows behind it. Mannequin is 3D. Hard goods are 3D. So it's, unless they're smaller and I'm taking a shot with through the ring light and it's flat on the table and I'm taking it from above, there are too many shadows. So in general, I think I need another one. So I think I'm going to buy a second one.
Yeah. All right. You ready for your next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go.
So like 2 weeks ago, I showed everybody, I picked up like 5 of these Anushka handbags. This was actually the largest of them, but it was the most used. It was the one that was the most beat up, believe it or not. And it's the first one to sell. They've been listed for a little over a week. So it sold, this sold for what you see there, $107. I had spent on average $22, $23 a piece on these. And yeah, there we go.
Very cool. All right. Next one for me. I'm going to hop on over to Etsy sales. This one is, I don't think this might be the first, maybe the second record I've sold on Etsy. Cause I probably have like in my eBay store, maybe like 35 of them. But anyway, this is like that old, the heavy metal soundtrack. I think I only paid like $1.99 for it. It's pretty, the sleeve's pretty beat up. But the records themselves were in nice condition. I got pictures of all of them. I didn't grade them, but I did say, I showed pictures of the actual records, and so people can see what condition they're in and disclose that there was, some ink.
I never grade them. The one thing I always put on records, and I sell a lot of used ones. You sell a lot more of the newer kind. Mm-hmm. I always put, because grading is so subjective, it's kind of like when you're grading like baseball cards and stuff. If you're not a professional at that or at comic books, that kind of thing, people take that type of grading very, very seriously.
Yeah.
If you're not a professional at it, don't. Because you're going to grade the wrong way and you're going to have a pissed off customer.
Yeah.
I always put, I don't grade, but I guarantee the record to play without a skip.
Yeah. And you want to make sure you have good pictures. If there's a problem
with it, then yeah, you take good pictures. If there's a problem with it, they're welcome to return it.
And you show things like edges and, stuff that you can see where the ring is worn in there and let them decide for themselves if they're okay with the condition of it.
Greg, how are you possibly old enough to have seen that movie in the theaters? I was 6. That's crazy.
Theaters.
All right.
All right. So let's see what it sold for.
Again, we're using Flipper tools to look at sold prices on Etsy.
$39.99. I sold that puppy for $40, even in the condition of the sleeve. So not too shabby.
Not bad.
And again, I think I bought it for like $1.99 or something like that. All right. Next one for you.
So this was both a good sale and kind of a pain in the neck, right? So we talk about photos. These photos are not fantastic. This is this picture was behind glass in a frame. It's a poster, and it was very hard to photograph. You know, the glass is obviously very reflective. It's really hard to get a photograph behind it. So I purchased this at a garage sale. I paid $10. I think Katy actually found it. Mm-hmm. She was looking, when we go together, she'll tend to scout out things that she thinks I'll like. And for
some reason, I'm really into making you buy large pieces of art.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Not. So I purchased this thinking I was going to ship it rolled. Boy, was I wrong. So when I finally took it out of this frame, it was professionally attached or affixed to a hard back. So I could not roll it. So so I paid $10. I sold it for $268 plus shipping. It went to Japan, but the buyer paid for 1 to 2 pounds because it was going to be rolled in a tube. Yeah, I couldn't ship it rolled. I had to ship it flat with lots of cardboard, and it ended up being 6 pounds. So it went from being first class mail to priority mail. Obviously, I had to eat that cost. So it ended up costing me, the buyer had paid $25 for shipping. It ended up costing me $63. Yeah. But
then that means you basically still made a couple $100.
So I mean, it was still a good sale. Thank goodness it was a sale that they had already paid partially for the shipping instead of it being free shipping here in the U.S. Again, it wouldn't have cost me that much to ship in the U.S. either. So
what did you learn from this little experience?
I learned I need to take these darn things out of the frames before assuming I can roll it and ship it rolled because I said that I was shipping it rolled.
Yeah, and especially if it's, I mean, obviously in this case, there's a big enough margin that it didn't really hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
But if for anybody who is flipping this kind, posters or anything like this, and there's going to be a much lower margin, much smaller margin, you really don't want to mess around. And, let's say you sold it for $70 and suddenly you're, paying $60 to ship it instead of $20 that you thought. I mean, you just don't want to do that.
Fernando Bortera, he's an artist. If you Google the name, you'll find a lot of it. It was just this really, I actually had this hanging in our living room while we were waiting for it to sell because I just thought it was a really
cool print. Sad he's gone.
I kind of miss him. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Super cool. All right. Next one for me. I have this, the San Francisco 1992 US ski team sweatshirt. This is like one of those half zip pullover sweatshirts. This one actually took me a lot longer to sell. I had this in Oregon, so it took me way longer to sell it than I thought it would. And I had a bunch of like really lowball offers, but I thought it was too cool to let it go for super cheap. But when it finally sold, I was very, very happy. That I actually
very, very,
very,
happy.
Very happy. Well, because I sold it for a good price, $72.99. So.
It is a good
I kept getting like offers for like $20, and I'm like, no way, man! This is like a cool skiing sweatshirt. Come on! I mean, it'd be cooler if it was Jesus on skis, but
I know
that's
your dream.
It is my dream. It is my dream.
Find Jesus on skis on a sweatshirt
or a t-shirt.
Vintage.
Mm-hmm.
Vintage.
All right, go ahead.
So this is another one. This has been the year, the week for artwork or what have you. I've now sold all of these Nagel prints. I gave away 2 that were heavily framed to a friend of mine who happens to really like them and just bought a new home. So I gave them as a housewarming gift rather than deal with shipping them because they were huge. I paid $1 at a garage sale. This is an original vintage. Again, these prints and posters are one of those things kind of hard to take pictures of.
Mm-hmm.
But this one I could roll, but the buyer contacted me and said, could you not roll it? Can you ship it flat? I will pay you to ship it flat. Okay. So I charged them $20 to ship it flat. And so I paid $1 and it sold for.
Oh, I guess I could have been ready. I was too busy looking at the pictures. Sorry, guys. $84.95.
$84.95 plus $20 shipping.
Mm-hmm. That's not too bad. Very cool. All right. Next one for me. Now, if you guys remember a while back, one of our couple sourcing videos back, I think I found this one on camera, didn't I?
Yes, and then I found one too.
Yeah. And they were in the women's jackets, and we were getting ready to leave, and I was like, hey, what's that? And I reached across the aisle, and Vikki was like, what? It's like I grabbed it right under her nose.
I was literally looking through the racks.
No, you weren't. We were about to leave. You guys, she's full of lies. That's why, because she tried to give me a hard time because I pulled it out of the women's section, but we were literally just about to walk away. So
now she's encroaching in the women's section.
No. We were leaving. She would not have found it had I not grabbed it. Anyway, so I grabbed it, but then because our attention was on that area, she saw right next to it another one, and it was slightly different, but it was another windbreaker jacket. Anyway, this is Ralph Lauren, the RLX line of Ralph Lauren. Just a cool little sporty jacket, kind of sporty. This one's from the 90s. And so it wasn't that long ago, maybe like a month or so ago. What did it sell for? Let's see what it sold for. $69.99. Woo woo! Woo woo!
You're silly.
Yeah, see, Allison, aka Liar, pants on fire.
Can you see my eye roll in the little mini screen at the bottom?
Anyway, I was stoked to sell that. So
I still have mine listed. Yep. Shocking.
Go ahead.
Okay, so most precious moments, the little figurines have little value unless they're super old or certain rare, collectibles. But some of them have some value, right? Like certain the buildings and the nativity set especially is one of the most collectible precious moments things. It's just one of those things that when there's a lot of them made, the value, obviously supply and demand decreases value. So this is something I picked up at that hoarder house that I was at with Dorothy. I paid $3 a piece for these, and they sold on Etsy for plus $15 shipping, and they're super lightweight. It was under 2 pounds together.
Nice. Not too shabby.
So they did sell for more than, the average precious moments thing sells for.
Nice. All right. The last one. This is mine. NYPD, New York City Police Department sweatshirt. Nice classic heather gray. I actually didn't have this listed for all that long. Maybe like a month and a half, a month or two. It wasn't very long. I don't remember where I found it at, but anyway, just vintage. What I have 90s in there? Yeah, vintage 90s NYPD sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what it sold for. $69.99.
Woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
So Charlene has a question. Will we do a meetup when we're in Phoenix? Yeah, we probably will. We'll arrange something with Teresa when we're in Phoenix. Teresa runs a meetup group in that area called EVIES, EVIES. If you are not a member of that group, you should be. She runs that local meetup there. And there's a Facebook group called EVIES. It's short for, I can't tell you what the acronym is right now. East Valley something, innovative something seller. I don't know. I'm sorry, Teresa. I hate to butcher that for you. I apologize. But if you just EVIES, if you search that on Facebook, you'll find the group that is the local Phoenix area, Arizona. She's in Gilbert meetup group, and we'll try to definitely arrange something. We did one last time. Yeah. Just a little dinner one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we're done with that. You got some stuff you want to show from your haul?
Yeah,
I'm going to start with your breakables.
I'm going to start with some breakable stuff so I can move it out of the way.
You can hand it to me and I can put it behind me.
That would be perfect.
Okay.
All right. So some of the things, Cheryl actually spotted a couple of them in the video. She's good. She's good, Miss Cheryl. I'm impressed. So some of the things that I pick up and I like to pick up is Fitz and Floyd, FITZ and Floyd. It's they make decorative servingware. Okay, so like plates and dishes and pitchers and all kinds of decorative things. So some brands are, there are certain types of Fitz and Floyd that are collectible. There are certain lines that are collectible, and then there are certain lines that are very common and not worth very much. But certain ones are very collectible. Any of the ones that have to do with the seasons, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, not as much, but Halloween and Christmas, certain lines are through the roof collectible. So this is one thing I picked up. I did pay up for it. I paid $10 for it. It's a teapot.
It's really
and
cute.
It is, it's Alice in Wonderland with the little dormouse. Look how cute. And I paid $10 for it. This one will probably sell for about 50 or 60 plus shipping. It's not a super high end one, but I really liked it.
It's very cute. It's very light, actually.
It's very, very breakable. That is the one thing you have to be very careful. Shipping Fitz and Floyd, it is easily smashed to bits and pieces. You want to insure every piece. You want to double box. I don't always encourage double boxing, but you want to double box, and you want to very, very carefully bubble wrap and packing peanut these items. I have shipped Fitz and Floyd pieces that sold for $1,000. There are certain lines that sell for a lot of money, especially the 12 Days of Christmas line. And I sold that entire line at $1,000, $700 to $1,000 each piece. And I smashed several of them, or I didn't, but the delivery service smashed several of them. And it was a very painful mistake. Yes, also inspect them thoroughly when you're buying them used, because you want to make sure if there are any chips, you do note them. And it's okay. That doesn't mean it's worthless if there are chips. In this case, there's actually a flea bite chip on this one. This is another piece. I paid $8 for this. This is a Halloween piece. This is it's a small candy jar. It comes apart. It's not a cookie jar. It's not big enough, but it does have a chip on the front of the hat that I filled in with a marker, and I will disclose that. This one will sell for about $125, and I do charge shipping on these.
Continue.
Okay. Yep, I'll try and show some branding. The branding is a little bit different on every one, Courtney. So depending on what the line is, they tend to have different stamps on the bottom. So this is one that is one of my favorite pieces. This is also from the Alice in Wonderland line. This is the white rabbit, and it's a picture. This one I paid $15 for. I will sell this for about $150. This is and again, this one's vintage Fitz and Floyd. So it's 1992 and it's stamped on the bottom. There are different Fitz and Floyd. Sometimes it's F&F. Sometimes it says Fitz and Floyd. Sometimes it says the line underneath. They're all marked in some way though. There is a line by Fitz and Floyd called Fitz and Floyd Omnibus. It's OMNIBUS, and that is the less expensive line, usually not worth picking up. Okay, and this is I've got two more to show. This is one of the Christmas ones that I picked up. Again, I paid $15 for this really ornate picture. This one is one of the Santa Claus ones. And they all come from different collections. So there's they'll have matching dishes, platters, salt and pepper shakers, pitchers, centerpieces, all that kind of stuff. I'll sell this one for about $130 plus shipping, and I'll charge a good $40 shipping on this because people that want these are going to pay for the shipping. They know it needs to be priced well, packed well. So this one just has a stamp on the bottom.
And that one says Fitz and Floyd.
That says Fitz and Floyd Classics. Christmas Lodge is the line, and it says it right there. And yes, like Cheryl says, once you're familiar with Fitz and Floyd, you will spot them a mile away. You will look at a shelf of stuff and you'll be like, you can tell this from the cheap Chinese crap in moments. And I have just one more. I do have a few others, but these are the highlights that I grabbed. And this one's a Santa Claus.
That one's fancy.
He's a cookie jar. The ones that have the woodland creatures on them, like this one has the bunny rabbits on it and stuff. So this is another one. This is from 1996. This one I did pay $20 for. Another stamp on the bottom. And this one I will pay, I'll sell this again for, this one will be another $129.99 one. Plus shipping, plus $30 or $40 shipping.
Barbara says she sells a lot of Fitz and Floyd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Fitz and Floyd stuff sells really well, and it's highly collectible, and it sells very, very well around the holidays. So if you were to look up the sold prices on a couple of those, you're going to see they're probably lower than what I said I'm going to ask for them. But I'm willing to wait out the bottom feeder prices and sell at the higher prices or, closer to the holidays.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. I think you're a little bit off camera.
Sorry.
I'm gonna scoot this over a little bit so you're in there. Okay. So we went to all the Sabres. I went to Buffalo Exchange. I took in some stuff to trade. I think I got about $70 in credit. Found some really cool stuff there. I think I used my $70 credit, spent another $75. But one of my favorite things I got there, one of the best things I got there.
Oh, this is my favorite. And you're going first right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bust it out, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this amazing lamb's wool vintage 90s polo Ralph Lauren lamb's wool sweater, hand knit. Just a really nice heavy sweater, extra large. They had this priced at $24.99, and there were two of them identical, both extra large. And they were only $24 a piece, or $24 even a piece. And so I bought both of them.
Vintage, Nordic wear.
Yeah, I should be able to sell them for probably at least $150 each during the holiday season. Because these are fantastic. These are nice Christmas sweaters, nice holiday sweaters, perfect for the holidays. And these can definitely sell for minimum $150 a piece. And I paid $24 each for them. This is the kind of stuff that I love finding at Buffalo Exchange.
Oh, when I saw you take that out, I was like, oh my goodness.
But yeah, I mean, you're not going to end up finding this stuff at the regular thrift store usually, but this is the kind of stuff that you're more likely to be able to pick up at Buffalo, with plenty of room to flip and make some real money on. So I was pretty happy about that. Just, oh, they're so nice.
Not one,
so nice,
but two
identical ones. So I don't know, maybe somebody that like worked at Polo Ralph Lauren back in the day or something like that.
Did you find our new Christmas photo matching sweater?
Yeah,
for the year?
pretty much. Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to do from now on.
We're going to have to create some funny Christmas photo. We didn't manage last year. We did the first year.
Yeah. Anyway, and then I found, I actually did find a few cool jackets at Savers. During the summertime, it's harder and harder to find good jackets at Savers. Plus, there's so many people that come through and pick when it comes to anything streetwear, anything sports related. Sometimes it can be a little harder to find. You got stuff like the Fitz and Floyd stuff that you find because there's a lot of people that don't really know what it is and they're not willing to spend up that kind of money.
I will say that when I was at Savers on Thursday, there was a couple that had two carriages out and there was a ton of Fitz and Floyd that got dumped off, a ton. And they were putting every single piece in their cart and then checking up the prices. They must have put a ton of them back because those pieces were probably in their cart, because I walked by and went, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. They
probably didn't have the money to spend. They didn't have the money to spend.
Because they, so they put back a bunch. I will say there was one piece there yesterday. And speaking of Fitz and Floyd, I'll mention this one more time, but the very highly collectible pieces are the 12 Days of Christmas Fitz and Floyd. Go look at some solds on those. Mm-hmm. They're very, very hard to find. They're highly collectible and they sell for a small fortune. Yeah. There was one cookie jar. 5 golden rings cookie jar was there yesterday. It was busted. 2 pieces were busted off of it. They only wanted $8 for it. I probably still could have sold it even busted, but I couldn't make myself do it.
I think one area that you're really fortunate, I'm not going to say lucky because you've done a lot of work to like build up your knowledge base. Where you're really fortunate is when you go into a thrift store, you have a lot of knowledge about some stuff that goes for really good money that other people wouldn't necessarily know. Because it has a high demand, but within very specific communities of people or I guess people, collectors and stuff like that. Whereas right now, I mean, vintage streetwear is
pretty hot.
super trendy. And so you're just not in a place like Vegas.
I like knowing about the old lady collectibles that they're never going to be trendy.
But most of nothing I'm going to buy is ever going to be there when it comes to being the 50% off color. Nothing that I'm going to want to buy to sell. Because all that's going to be gone by then. But anyways, I'm always happy when I find some decent jackets. But this is Majestic, the Athletics, the A's jacket, nice embroidered. I don't know what I'll price this at. I actually just sold one. It was a full zip one just recently. It's
a nice one.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. So I don't know. I don't know that it's 90s. I don't know. It's made in Indonesia. I mean, it's an actual tag instead of being printed directly on the jacket, but I'll have to look and see if it's 20 years old or not, if I can put it on Etsy. But still, I should be able to at least sell it for like $50 or something like that. Just a nice jacket.
So one of the questions in there, Karen Hill, what is the Norwegian sweater company that's high dollar? It's Dale of Norway. Norway. $100 plus every time.
Yeah.
And then Nature Girl asked, how long after selling on eBay did you go full time? So I had a full-time job for the first many years that I sold on eBay. And I was still pulling in $30,000, $40,000 a year on eBay consistently from the very beginning. So I've been on eBay. This is my 21st year. I would say that I haven't held a job in 10 years. Outside of eBay. Mm-hmm. I've been and I would say even the 2 years before that, I was making a full-time income. So I tend to say I've been doing it full-time for 12 years.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lower end full-time income plus working my full-time job for the first few years. And then I was very part-time. I was a hobby seller for a while. So 12 years for me.
See, and I had left my job at Habitat for Humanity to start my own business, doing marketing, consulting. And so while I had like a 6-month period where I was getting unemployment, that I needed to build up my business enough to be supporting myself. And I started doing eBay like right at the same time, just kind of dabbling in it. But it grew so much faster and I saw the potential was there. I was like, okay, I've got a limited amount of time to be able to actually earn enough money to not have to go work for someone else. I'm going to put basically all my eggs into this basket. So I went full in to eBay from the very beginning. And it actually took me about 8 months to get to where I was able to support myself full time. So there was like a 2-month period where it was a little painful. But about 8 months in, I was making a full-time living. But I kind of did it backwards, and I just went full-time right from the very beginning. I kind of fell into it, and then worked my ass off to be able to, I was like listing, learning constantly, trying to, read everything I could, find out everything I could. But all the while listing every single day. So within that first 6 months or so, 6, 7, 8 months, I got up to 1,000 listings and just haven't ever looked back. So, all right. So,
I was only up to 1,000 listings. I would say it's only been in the last 4 or 5 years that I've had more than 1,000 listings. Prior to that, I was always under 1,000. And even though I was making a full-time income, I didn't work it as hard as I do now. So I've steadily been working more and more every year and growing my business more and more every year.
Yeah. So we approached it a little bit differently, but that was just because, for me, it was just out of necessity, because I liked it right at the beginning. And I was like, you know what? I think I'd rather put all of my time and energy into this and see what happens. And I was able to see results right away. So I just kept pushing and plowing through it.
I wasn't 100% sure I was going to stay doing this full time, because I do have a career, background in mortgage banking and in the nonprofit sector. And I wasn't sure that I was going to stay with this. For me, it was an easy way for me to dedicate more time to the nonprofit work and the volunteer work I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't imagine going back again.
All right. So this last week, I also bought a whole box of stuff. I don't know if I haven't seen her in the chat, but I haven't really been watching very hard. Jennifer, she reached out to me and she was like, hey, are you interested in buying a reseller box? And I was like, well, yeah, but I need to see, everything that's in it or whatever. So if you send me, so I had her send me like pictures. I'm like, just send me a picture of at least the front and a close up of the tag. She said she had a bunch of jackets and sweatshirts and stuff. And so she sent me pictures and they were all awesome. So I went ahead and purchased a box from her and she sent it to me. And probably my favorite thing from the whole box is this jacket right here. This is Green Bay Packers chalk line jacket. It's got all embroidered on the back. And this tag, I think this tag is like 90s, this kind of cloth tag, made in the USA, but definitely vintage. Now these jackets, depending on the teams, different teams go for different amounts of money. This particular jacket, it looks like the comps are like all around like $80, $85. But you know how I feel about comps. I'm gonna probably try and get more than that. So I don't want to go.
We're
under
also
$100.
headed into the season right now.
Right, we're heading into the season, heading into the holidays.
People buy these things for gifts.
Yep, people buy them for gifts. This one is in fantastic condition. Doesn't seem like it's been worn much at all. It's just a really nice jacket. So
I say $125.
Yeah, so I'll probably price it like $150 or something like that, best offer, and see what happens. But fantastic jacket, and that whole box of stuff. A lot of really good stuff in there. So I'm gonna do one more, this last jacket thing. We can go to you, and then at the good old Buffalo Exchange, I spied this. You guys saw that that jacket I just sold on the old Etsy. This one is not a vintage one, but it's Ralph Lauren, the RLX brand. I'll show you. You can see the tag is printed right on the material. This is not vintage, but it's in fantastic condition. It's a down vest. It's got a little roll-up hood in there. But it's just like a really nice, squishy, very squishy.
Squishy?
Squishy.
That's the
That's
technical term?
Yep, it's a squishy vest. But just like a really nice puffer.
Packable is the word you want to put.
Yeah, puffer vest. And they had it priced at $18. $18. I'm going to sell this bad boy for $100. That's my plan. I'm going to sell this for $100. Again, going into the season. Really nice jacket. I'll sell it for $100. All right, it's on to you.
So one of the things that I did show in the haul video, but in case you didn't watch it, is I picked up a bunch of vintage football and hockey pennants, right? So they're all from the late 80s to about 90, 92. So there's some like vintage pennants, just these felt pennants, nothing super fantastic about them, but I paid $3 a piece for them, and I picked up 33 of them, And on average, the inexpensive ones will sell for about $20. Again, I don't like to sell super small, but these are so easy. It's like 3 photos, super easy to ship. I roll them. I ship them rolled. The best ones are going to be obviously the more popular, teams like the Boston Bruins. I have a few of those. Anything with the bear from the Boston Bruins is quite popular. Those are going to sell for $30 to $40 a piece.
No, Cheryl, she did not get a deal. They were, the guy said that they just had put them out like the day before or something like that. He said normally they would after they'd been there for a little bit of time, but they already had like multiple people asking for deals. So I think they were going to let them ride for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked this one up at all. It might be worth more because it's dated. I'm not sure. I haven't looked up any of them, but I do know that I sell these, especially around the holidays. These are super hot sellers for gifts, Christmas gifts. People like to gift people in their lives that collect and love teams, certain teams, everybody is loyal to certain teams. They like to gift these type of things. And it's an inexpensive gift at $30 and under, and they're so easy to ship and get out. Mm-hmm. So I did, Allison, you bastard. Yeah, you can sell lotions, hair stuff on Etsy, Macari. Yes, you can, Jen.
Used? Not used lotion, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, partially used, like vintage, like it's got to be 20 years older or older, Jen.
No, she's not going to show them all because there's a lot of them.
No, I'm not going to show them all. There's a ton of them. Yeah. This one I'm actually probably going to send to my friend's son who just moved into Duke last week, his first year. Mm-hmm. So he can hang it in his college dorm because he's a good kid and I really like this kid. So if you're watching, Melissa or Sarah, it's going to Sarah's son. Yeah, so they're in good shape. I do roll them. Sonny, if you're looking for a specific team, let me know, honey. Just send me a message. But yeah, there's 30 of them. I'm not going to go through every single one.
Yeah.
I paid $3 a piece. If I can turn that into, $20 a piece, $25 a piece on average, I'm okay with that. It's because it's the ease of shipping and listing.
Yep. Well, that's the thing you got to keep in mind. That's why I like t-shirts, even though I like my average sale price to be 50 and above. T-shirts, I still do t-shirts, even though a lot of them I sell for $30, $35 because they're so fast to take pictures, front and back, tag. They're fast to list. They're fast to ship. So you just got to think about your time too.
All right. Someone grab the troll. Gustavo, F you right back. Thank you.
No, they already did.
Sorry you have so much to do with your time. Okay. So this is something I don't always pick up a lot of these things. But there are certain brands that resell really well. And this happens to be one of them. So this was a brand that I had to look up. It's just a chef block, knife block. This brand, what are we looking at here? WUS Wusthof. With the little umlaut above the U. This will sell for about $75 used. I paid $4.
Very nice. Yeah, see, I think when somebody just enters in the same thing a whole bunch of times, it automatically pulls them out. So I don't even think they showed up in the regular chat. So there you go. So you don't have to call attention to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody needs a life.
You. Anyway.
So yeah, it does sound like it's a weird German word, but I don't. And those and Cutco, those are the two that tend to sell pretty well. Let's see. Just do a couple more. Ow. Damn it, I just broke a nail.
She just broke a nail, you guys.
All right. So this I showed in the haul video as well. This is a brand to keep an eye out for briefcases. This is actually a really small briefcase. Almost like a purse. So Halliburton, Zero Halliburton. They're made of aluminum. And this one has a bunch of scratches on it. I have to clean it up. I paid about $5 for this, but I think I can sell it for close to $100.
That's crazy.
Even in the condition it is.
It's kind of a cool color.
Another brand to keep an eye out for. These are a pair of new shoes. So Ramika, they're these, they're like comfort walking shoes. So these are new. And I'll probably sell these for about $50. I paid $7 or $8 for them.
Fancy. Fancy.
And I'll do one more pair of shoes.
Okay.
And then you can go.
Woohoo!
These I picked up on this at this little honey hole near us. These are something you always want to pick up. These vintage duck boots made by LL Bean, the main company, made in the US. The older, the better. These are like a size 9. I paid $1. I'm going to clean them up a little bit, and I'll probably list them and sell them for $40 to $50.
$1, living dangerously.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say at the same exact store, I picked up 2 of the Allegria pair of shoes. They're kind of like Dansko work shoes, and they are 2 left shoes. I paid $1 for those as well. They will go back and be donated somewhere.
Why donate them if there's both left shoes?
I don't know.
Unless you take them back to the same place.
What am I going to do with them?
Well, you know, you probably just throw them away. All right. I got some sweatshirts here. So these are also, I have a couple sweatshirts that are both from the same box that I got from Jennifer. She's in Wisconsin, so of course I got some sweet Wisconsin swag. Wisconsin Badgers. I think this is a fantastic sweatshirt, vintage 90s. I don't know, I've never seen this brand before, but there's so many different like blank brands out there that stuff like this is printed on. But anyway, pretty cool sweatshirt. I love all the college stuff. Throw it over this way. And then I got a couple of Champion reverse weave sweatshirts that Victoria's very jealous of.
Totally jealous.
One of them was like this blank one that had like striped neck, but and cuffs. But this one is a Minnesota one. A nice reverse weave. And now when they say reverse weave, it's actually a trademarked name of a Champion line, reverse weave, and is because they actually are reverse weave. So you can see now on a regular sweatshirt. Actually, let me grab this real quick.
Lots of people saying don't donate the shoes. I do. There are also there are a lot of amputees. I actually have several friends that are amputees of both bilateral and not. But they're the problem with selling the one shoe is that half the time someone's going to buy it not reading the listing, and it's a pain in the neck to relist every time someone makes that mistake.
Yeah,
so
it's not worth it. Anyway, so a regular sweatshirt, you'll see the direction. Let me show you the direction of the grain here. It's vertical. You see how it runs up and down. Now on these reverse weave sweatshirts, the grain of the main part of the sweatshirt is actually horizontal. See how it's horizontal? And then they have like these side panels where it's like a side panel where it's vertical. And so you can see, anyway, so they're a little bit different. It has something to do with like, so they don't shrink up as much. I think it's like a little better quality of construction. But anyway, I'm always excited when I find these. And they also have like the really long cuffs. So it's just a really nice sweatshirt. What are you smiling at over there?
I'm reading the comments. Sorry.
Allison says donate them separately to different stores.
The funny thing is that they are the same shoe, 2 different colors, and both the left shoe. So what kind of moron am I that I didn't realize they were 2 different colors? But I bought
some kind of moron.
I bought them anyway.
Some kind of yeah. People
Apparently,
do.
I needed a nap too that day.
Yeah, people do buy single shoes.
They do.
Victoria, the problem that we were saying is that, and I've tried it before too, is that you end up with a lot of canceled sales or people getting the shoe and realizing that people don't read. And so
it's a pain in the neck to cancel the sale and relist all the time because people don't know how to read.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Your turn. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I'll show a couple t-shirts. So t-shirts, I've been saying this a lot lately. I started looking in the women's sections. So when I go to like Buffalo Exchange, I always go look in the women's t-shirts because they're smaller t-shirts, if they're a lot smaller, or depending on what, like if they're kind of more kitschy or like kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like kind of print
campy
on the front
or
campy, whatever, they tend to put them in the women's. So like this t-shirt, which I think is fantastic, it says Howdy from Texas. And it's one of those kind of like iron-on ones. And it is dated 1978.
That's cool.
And it's just a really cool old, and this is like, you can see this is like an old late 70s.
I could see our friend Hadassah wearing that.
Yeah, it's a really cute shirt. And this was in the women's. So they just don't put these ones in the men's because it's a really small one, size small. Yeah. And it's just more.
See, Barbara's from Texas. She says, I love that.
Yeah.
Barbara, I could fit my left kneecap in that t-shirt.
So I bought, I bought a couple of auctions of t-shirts, and I also bought just a regular, like I made an offer on, it was like a 20 vintage t-shirt lot. I think I offered $90 and then it was $10 for shipping. So I paid $100 for 20 t-shirts. And this one was hands down, finger up, the best of all of them in this one lot. This one, I don't even know yet how I'm going to price it because it's really hard to know. But this is a Saxon and Accept t-shirt from 1984. So Saxon and Accept.
Greg will appreciate this one.
Yeah, so Saxon and Accept are both like, were they like metal bands from like the early 80s? And so, but this is like from 99.5 Kiss concert event. So it was like a local event. This isn't like one of their merch t-shirts. So really, honestly, I have no idea what to price it at. I have no clue because there's not going to be the likelihood of there being any comps of this t-shirt. Pretty much nil. Probably not going to happen at all. So it's not like, your regular band t-shirt where you can go look it up and see what they've sold for before. I don't really have a clue. But I think if I was a huge Saxon fan or Accept, I would be like pretty stoked about it. Because
those were the early days of their careers. Yeah. So, and they were small enough to be playing a radio station show.
Yep. So
they never really made it out in the US. Neither band ever really made it super mainstream. Yeah. But in certain parts, certain European countries, they are still big. Yeah. And they have a huge cult following in like Germany. Both bands do, actually. Right.
I think Cheryl is on. She's got it figured out. $1 million or best offer.
I think you're good. So Lisa is asking. Lisa George asked, "How are you going to ship them?" I'm not sure what item you're talking about. You might be behind on the show a little bit. So I'm wondering if.
Yeah, why don't you
maybe the type in what you're asking? Yeah, what do you want us to ship, and we'll get back to that question.
So I was saying I had a bunch of like event t-shirts and like race t-shirts. This one, I love this one because it's in such fantastic condition. It's really, really nice. And it's just like a great, really nice green color. Azalea Trail Run from 1982. And it says Port City Pacers. So it's probably like a running club or something like that sponsoring it. But 1982, but it's in fantastic condition. Just really nice. This is like one of those vintage t-shirt brands you'll see from the 80s called Sneakers. And just like a really cool 50-50 cotton poly blend. I think this is a great t-shirt. I don't think it's been worn much at all. And I love these kinds of t-shirts. I love them. You want to show some now?
Yeah, sure. So I'll do some clothing, and then I've only got like two more. I'll do some clothes real quick, and then I've got my Halloween things, and then I can be done anyway. Since we're heading on into the hour and a half mark at this point.
Greg says the screen froze. Can you show the other side? If neither of those, if you're talking about the Saxon t-shirt or
it's blank, right?
Yeah, the back doesn't have anything on it. It's just black. It's just a blank.
So one of the things I picked up, again, this is that little tiny store that I paid like $1 for each pair of shoes. I also paid $1 for this Michael Kors packable down jacket. Nothing fantastic, brand new. These sell for about $125 on eBay. Of course, in the retail store they're like $300, but on eBay about $125. I'm probably going to get at least, $50 out of it, maybe a little bit more if I wait until it's actually a little cooler. Nothing wrong with it. I paid $1. I picked up this fantastic piece of vintage.
It's fancy.
It's like this, but it's okay. So just to give a tip about, don't put your face on it. It came from a thrift store. What is wrong with you? It came, this type of pleat that you see here, this is called an accordion pleat. So that's just a little vintage tip. It's just a sheath dress underneath, and then it has these big fanned out angel sleeves is kind of what they're called. Angel sleeves or butterfly sleeves. Actually, these are butterfly, not angel. And
Fancy.
so it's this big long dress. Anyway, I paid $7 for it. I'll probably list it for $75 to $100. It's just this kind of cool pink 70s thing. The other piece of clothing that I picked up that Katie was a little jealous about is this vintage 1980s Nike. Here's the tag. Can you see the tag? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if I'm flocking this
right
tag. It's just this vintage 80s kind of windbreaker thing.
It's for running or cycling.
It's for running or cycling. Back. Yeah, it's got that longer pocket in the back and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool.
Ooh, what's in here?
There's
something jingly in there.
Oh, I don't know. What's in the pocket?
Let's see.
An unveiling.
Let's see.
Yeah, L. Ricks, I did get your email earlier. I have not had a chance to look at it yet. I'll take a look at it later on.
Oh, cool. You can, it turns into like a little fanny pack probably.
Ooh, I can wrap this up and turn it into a fanny pack. It's a convertible fanny pack jacket.
Yeah,
what?
I think so.
That just doubled the price right there.
L. Ricks.
I answered that question already.
Oh, you did see it?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I forwarded it to her, so I didn't know if she saw it or not.
I will answer it real quickly. Actually, the type of doll that you're looking at is just a modern doll from Dillard's, and it was, probably something they sold around the holidays. I don't think it has a heck of a lot of resale value, so don't drive yourself crazy looking for comps on it. I mean, describe it to the best of your ability and put it up for like $20-$25 would be my guess. I probably would not have picked it up, but if you got it cheap enough, you can probably sell it for $25 or so. So this is something I picked up. So this is, again, me and my Rick Dorn channeling here. This is just a vintage Lord & Taylor Man's Shop, 100% cashmere, Mongolian cashmere dress coat. It's not camel hair, but it is cashmere. So I paid up for this. I paid $15 for it, and I'll probably sell it for like $150, $175 once we get into the season. Mm-hmm. It's a really, really nice jacket. It's in beautiful condition. There's nothing wrong with it. No spots, stains, dirt, anything. It's really nice. Mm-hmm. The Michael Kors jacket is either a small or an extra small, Sandy.
It's real small, guys. She's looking. No, she's not looking.
I'm getting my two last pieces of clothing to talk about. Yeah. I actually picked up a couple of things at Buffalo Exchange myself. So I don't normally buy at Buffalo Exchange because their women's area is just lacks, I don't know, imagination, I guess. But these were only $22. And this brand, it's called Queen of Darkness.
Ooh, Queen of Darkness.
They're new with tags. They're just kind of like these like goth pants with like
zippers and buckles
and stuff.
Buckles and zippers.
So it's a UK brand, but they do sell for like $80 to $100. So
wow, that's pretty awesome.
So it was just a new brand for me, kind of like Trip, but better made.
Yeah.
And one last clothing item. This is a brand that, if you follow a lot of people on Posh or that sell on Posh, you've probably heard of this brand, but you may not have heard of it if you're older like me. Real old. It's this brand called Prana. It's not a super high-end brand, but I mean, this little teeny tiny shirt has a price tag on it, new with tags, for $70. And it's a good resale brand. I paid $8. It was on clearance. I will probably sell it for like $30 or $40. Yeah. It's not anything,
I feel like that brand was a little more popular a few years ago, but
yeah,
still does all right. Joshua wants to know, where do you find your merchandise? So Josh, we do a lot of thrifting around here. We have 6 different Savers stores in the Las Vegas area. And then like she was just saying, we pick up stuff I do a lot at Buffalo Exchange, but every week we go to all the Savers stores. I always go to Buffalo Exchange. We do some yard sales, some estate sales. I like to try and find bulk buys to do online, but pretty much almost everything is thrifted. And that's pretty much how we do it. Yep.
So your turn to show a few more things.
I'll show some more t-shirts, guys.
And then I just have a handful of things more to show, and we'll wrap this up in the next 10 minutes or so.
Well, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You're funny. Anyway, I haven't really done much research on this at all, but this is another one that came. Most of the T-shirts I'm going to be showing you today, some came from Buffalo, but most of them are from those bulk buys. Paint the Town Orange, Virginia versus Duke, September 23rd, 1989. I like how it has the Minute Maid sponsor on it. So this is from 1989. It's got that Screen Stars tag that I tell you is kind of the latter half of the 80s into the early 90s. But I think this is pretty cool. Now this one, I have not done my research yet, and I haven't really done much rawlings. But this is just a really cool Chargers jersey, and it's in fantastic condition. At the very least, it's 80s. Could be 70s. But let me show you this tag. See if I can get to focus. So it's this Rawlings made in the USA tag. But it's in really nice condition. It's just I need to do some research because I don't really know my Rawlings tags. Mm-hmm. But super polyester, man.
Oh yeah, that looks 70s, early 80s to me. In every way.
Yep, it's got like the this single stitch thing going on. But yeah, I'll have to look it up because it's in really great shape. I just have no idea like what to charge for it or anything like that because it's just like a really cool old school jersey.
It is crisp and kind of slimy because it's polyester.
It is quite crisp.
And yeah, Victoria says Roper Romp. That pink, be careful pushing that.
I know where it's at.
That pink dress with the accordion pleats. Yeah, if that fits me, that is my Roper Romp dress. I'm not sure what size it is. I didn't quite look too detailed at it.
Crispy. Here's another one that I gotta see. I haven't looked anything up yet, but this one is cool because it says, "I'm working for Watson." This is like super worn and thin and soft. And then on the back it says Watson for Governor. I don't remember which one. One of my boxes I got from Washington. The other ones I'm not sure what state they came from, so I'm not entirely sure. So I'm
Wisconsin.
No, not the T-shirts.
Oh,
those were sweatshirts and jackets. The tag is like super faded, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those sneakers tags. So probably it's definitely like an 80s T-shirt. But I really like these old political election campaign T-shirts. So Watson for Governor. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to see if I can figure out. I'll start at whichever state this actually came from and see if it's from there. I don't know. Did Watson win? I don't know. Maybe so, maybe not.
that is the question.
Yep. Here's another event T-shirt. This one's like a neon green from 1985, Gumtree Run. This is another T-shirt that's just in like fantastic condition. I got so many cool. I actually had a hard time. This is an 80s Anvil T-shirt or tag. I actually had a really hard time figuring out which stuff to bring up because I seriously got so many cool T-shirts. I mean, I ended up with probably like 50 vintage T-shirts this week. So I was really excited about this one. I think she hasn't even seen these T-shirts, guys.
I haven't.
Not that she's really paying any attention, but
I'm trying to get my stuff ready for the last thing.
This one, Beaver Airlines, We Fly into the Bush.
Oh,
like that.
That's bad. So bad.
Look at how amazing this T-shirt is. It doesn't have a date on it anywhere, but I was talking about the Screen Stars tags. So, I was showing those black Screen Stars ones. Those are the ones that are like later 80s. And then there's ones that look like this. Anytime you see this, you can pretty much automatically assume that this is the 80s. And I've talked about this before. If you look closely on this particular one, you see, let me see if I can focus on you and not Vikki chewing on her nails. Mm-hmm. You can see how the A has got that little whoop right on it there. That is early 80s. So this T-shirt is in early 80s. And I think it's pretty fabulous. Get your witch out of my screen.
I know. Jeez. So bad.
Anyway, I got a couple more T-shirts. I don't know if you want to do those now, and I'll wrap it up with T-shirts.
So one of the things, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I actually, sometimes you just have to stick with your instincts, is what I was saying. I found these really cool looking Halloween figurines. They're these kind of painted and heavily decorated Halloween figures at Savers on Thursday. And I bought all that they had because they were priced. I mean, look at this, $7.99. Can you see that? $7.99. Anyway, so she's like really cool looking witch. And I know Halloween stuff is super highly collectible, and I knew it was very well made, but I didn't know who the artist was or who made it or anything like that. I just knew it was really well made. And then I came home and I did a crap load of research, just Googling every combination of the words until I found what looked like these things. So, and this is another one of them. That I'd found that first day, and they were marked at $7.99 to $9.99, $5.99, and I had 25% off. So I bought 5 of them or 6 of them that day because that was what they had there. And I came home and researched them, and I found out that they're by an artist called Joe Spencer. And most of the ones that I picked up were by an artist called Joe Spencer, and they retail anywhere from $40 to, well, they resell anywhere from $40 to $150, depending on what dolls you get. They're not quite dolls, but they're kind of like these primitive, hand painted, decorated type of grungy something or other people call them. Anyway, I just knew that they were quality, so I went back.
Well, no. You can't tell the whole story. So
yes,
then she
dear.
starts. No. I'm just saying. So this I think this is important. So there were a couple that you had left behind because you didn't really know for sure. And so you bought most of them.
I bought most of them and left behind like 2 or 3 that were smaller. And I was kind of like, man, I'll just leave these behind just in case they're not worth anything, because they price the smaller ones as much as the bigger ones. So I left behind a couple, and once I figured out what they were, I had woken up on Saturday morning. I picked them up.
She's sitting there and she's like going, should I go back there? Like,
when did I pick them up? Thursday?
Yeah, it was Thursday.
Yeah, so Friday morning, I was sitting there going, should I go back and just see if those other
I was
ones
like,
are
go
still
back.
there?
And she's like, they're not going to be there. And I'm like, no, seriously, just go back. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're not going to be there. So then she goes, and what happens?
So then I go back, and sometime between the time I picked up those 5 and left behind a couple of little ones and the next morning, so maybe like 16-hour difference, they had put out dozens more. And that was when I found all the Fitz and Floyd stuff and about 30 more of these pieces. And 20 of them or so are from our Joe Spencer, because I had done so much research the day before that I was recognizing all the other models, because I was like, oh, that's one, that one, that's one, that's one. So I bought a bunch more, one of them being this pretty hard to find Ebenezer Scrooge one. He's pretty cool. He's like huge. It's like 40 something inches.
I like his little slippers.
Yep. And then I also found, it must have been somebody's collection just got dumped off. Grandma or mom died and they cleaned out the house and dumped off everything, because there's no way someone spent this much money on their items and then got rid of them. So one of them that I found, a lot of them that I found are like just these handmade, primitives that people love to decorate and collect. So this whole country, like this is hand painted.
But this one's not Joe Spencer.
No, it is not. It is made by, some lady that made this for
Why would you say that about Wendy?
Because I looked her up. The name is nothing. So just some lady that made this at a craft store, but they put a lot of time and money and effort into these. This probably sold for $100 at some kind of craft store. And I paid $5 for it. So I went back and got an entire cart full. If you look at my Instagram, I staged them all on the sofa in my office. And this one is really cute. I'm probably going to sell this for about $75. And if you look up country, primitive, Halloween, jack-o'-lantern, grungy, Joe Spencer, any of those keywords, look at the solds. The solds are huge. The sell-through rate is very high. People like this type of decor. So I'm pretty excited.
Well, and what's really cool is if you go look at her Instagram and look at that picture, click on the hashtag for Joe Spencer, and there's just tons and tons and tons of stuff out there. It's really cool.
And these are some real cute ones that I bought too, that are, a little bit more colorful and probably a little bit lesser quality than the Joe Spencer, but no, somebody still likes this stuff. These are all handmade. It's got, I don't know, these are all handmade, and they've got, little clothes on. And
I like the candy corn nose.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think I spent a total of, like $145 on all of them, maybe 30 pieces.
It was just funny because Thursday we went, if you watched the sourcing video, she was like, I bought too much stuff. I got way too much. And so then when she went back the next day, she sends me back a picture, and it's just like her cart just piled high with stuff. And it was ridiculous. But
no, Cheryl, none of them have tags. There is only one Joe Spencer one that actually still has the tag, and it's Ebenezer Scrooge. None of the other ones have tags. A lot of them are hand signed. But again, at craft fairs, they're all handmade. They're not going to have tags.
Yeah. But if you go look at the pictures, like I said, if you look at that hashtag, you can see all of them. They're so distinct and they're really cool.
Yeah, they're very distinct in the way that they're made. So what percentage is a good sell-through rate? It depends on what you're looking to sell. But if you look at Joe Spencer listed, there's only a few hundred listed. And then if you look at sell-through and then sold, there's a few hundred sold. So it's probably a bunch of like a 50% sell-through.
Yeah.
So
like, let's say it's like a pair of jeans and you look them up and there are 10,000 of them listed. And then you look at the sold. So there's 10,000 of them currently listed. And then you look at the solds, which is the last 90 days, and 350 of them have sold. Do you really want to spend much money on that pair of jeans? No.
Not even if you got them for $1.
No. But if it's something that has a really good, that sells for a good price, and there's a even higher sold number than what's currently listed, but there's a lot of them. You know what I mean? Like,
that's always
like 100. Like if there's like 100 or 200.
Like
listings.
if you look at Anushka or you look at Michael Kors purses or something like that. You look at Michael Kors purses. Yes, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of them, but there are also thousands and thousands and thousands that have sold. So that's part of it. So
yeah, for sure.
Oh, and you've got a super chat from Greg.
Greg, 2 sales during our show. Lucky taco money. Super chat. Super chat. It's super chatty. Yow. I don't think I went as high that time. Anyway, are you done?
I'm done.
You done? All right. I'll show a couple more t-shirts just because, seriously, guys, I'll just go through these really fast. But so many awesome t-shirts. You know how I feel about my skiing t-shirts. Colorado, Ski Colorado. This is an 80s Hanes tag right here. This is I haven't looked this up at all, but this is Phi Theta Kappa Honors Institute, New York, New York. And this sportswear tag. See how it's just says sportswear? What a brand. What a brand. But you'll see that a lot on these 80s t-shirts. Just a really cool 80s t-shirt. This is one of my favorites of all the vintage t-shirts. This is
I think the hour and a half mark is where we start to lose people. We were up to about 175. Now we're down to
I don't need your lack of support, okay? Okay? All right?
Mm-hmm.
You're so rude. Do you see what I have to put up with, you guys? Who cares? So maybe less people are going to hang out while I show my cool t-shirts. Do some of you guys like to see my cool t-shirts? Yeah, I'm sure they do. You just like throw my heart out like a week-old thing of sour cream. Sorry, day-old sour cream. That's my heart. That's my heart right now. Day-old sour cream. Just throwing it out in the trash. USS JF Kennedy. I guess was that like a battleship or a what do they call them?
That's a cool one.
Anyway, I think it's really cool. I don't know what's going on with all these funky shapes up here in the sky, but I like them. I think they look pretty cool. Pretty cool. I've never seen this tag before. It says Jacobson. Made in the USA. I think it's pretty awesome. I love it.
I'm trying to read the chat. But
See,
I can't,
Lori says that she'll listen for as long as I want to talk. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you, Lori. And like some people I know. So rude. So rude. And Cheryl says USST is amazeballs.
Oh, okay.
Corey, thank you for taking pity on me. I appreciate it. This was actually pretty cool. Black Canyon Range, Maricopa County in Phoenix, Arizona. This is like a rifle, pistol, shotgun, archery range. I think the graphic on this is really cool. And this is a Screen Stars tag. You want to take a little nappy? You want to take a little nappy? Yeah. So rude.
Ow.
Stop
Stop touching me with
this one was actually washed.
Stuff.
This one was actually washed. So there you go.
Gross.
And then this one, I think this one's gorgeous. Yellowstone, good old 80s Yellowstone t-shirt. I'm going to sell this for $1 million, and I'm not going to share any of it with you.
Okay.
I'm going to take myself on a vacation away from you.
All right.
To where people are more supportive.
$1 million, huh? Florida. Looks like Florida's got a lot.
I'm going to go to Florida and stay with Cheryl. And we're going to talk about how mean you are.
Okay.
That's basically what we're going to do.
Help her list her beater lax while you're at it.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, guys. Okay. Here we go. Now I have a new, you know how I like to sell my absolutely destroyed t-shirts with rips and holes and they're faded and they just are trashed. And this one over here, again, no support, doesn't believe in me, doesn't believe that I can sell them for a lot. The last one, remember that Tasmania, that Taz t-shirt, the Phoenix Suns, sold that for $100. You didn't believe in me. This was the next one right here. Houston Rockets, 1995. It says back-to-back NBA champions, forged in gold. And look at this. This thing is just trashed. It's got holes everywhere. It's faded. Look at the back. Big holes everywhere. I'm going to sell that.
Get it away from my face.
I'm going to sell it for $1 million. I actually did wash this one, so this is actually pretty clean. This is actually clean. But
literally just made me almost vomit.
I washed it in the washer. Anyway, this is a brand that I don't know if you're aware of. Magic Johnson tees. Some of these sports t-shirts are pretty cool. Anyway, $1 million. I'm going to sell this for $1 million. Jerk. All right. And then the last one I'll show, because I think this one's pretty fancy. On the 8th day, God created Colorado.
Oh, man.
Yep. I like it. I think that's a pretty good one.
Really?
That one. See, here's an example of one that does not have a tag in it. The tag got ripped out, but it really doesn't matter. I can tell this is an 80s shirt. I can tell by the construction. I can tell by the feel of it. This is definitely like a 50-50 polyester cotton blend. So does it matter that it doesn't have a tag? Meh, not really. It's not going to keep me from being able to sell it for however much I want to sell it for. And it certainly doesn't keep me from hitting that one in the face. Just give me the look, you guys. Just give me the eyeball.
One more time, you flick me with a shirt in the face.
What? You want me to do it one more time? She's getting this ready right here.
A knuckle sandwich.
Anyway, guys, those are all of my t-shirts. Mm-hmm. Not all of them. I left a lot of them downstairs. I got so many good ones. Anyway.
Are you done?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Appreciate you guys coming. Listen. Here's a little preview. What's happening on Wednesday's show?
Ooh. So on Wednesday's show, my friend Rachel, who happens to be a professional marketing consultant, is going to be joining us on the Wednesday Boss Up and List show. She is going to be talking to us about how to create your brand and how to market yourself as a brand. And I don't mean just your store name. I mean you as a person, your business as a person, your business as an entity, how to create consistent marketing, what to do with it, and how to make yourself have a presence known, especially in today's day and age, where social media is very important, even if it has to do with the fact that, we do a YouTube show, or we have, Facebook groups, or you have an eBay store and an Instagram presence and an Etsy store, and you want to create marketing. She is going to teach us how to do that, talk to us a little bit about the importance of it and how to make it simplified for people, because a lot of people look at it and go, I don't even know what that means. How do I do that other than naming their store? So I'm pretty excited that she's going to come and sit down with us and do this. She is a professional marketing consultant. She's actually going to come here because she lives here in Vegas now. She just moved here from Rhode Island, but she has 20 years of marketing experience, and she's going to come and teach us how to do it. So
very, very cool. Looking forward to that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Everybody on the East Coast, our Floridians and our friends down there in the unsafe zones, please be careful. Batten down the hatches. Please leave. If you are evacuated, go find somewhere to go. Leave. Do not sit and wait for the National Guard to come rescue you on your roof. I'd rather see you stay alive than be hunkered down with your possessions. Take your pets and go.
But Cheryl, if you do have to have the National Guard come and rescue you off of your roof and it's on national television, please give me a shout out. That's all I ask. That's all
Make sure you have Katy's name on your white sheet.
No, not white sheet. Make sure you get only your best beater lack blankets. Line the roof with them. I think that'll probably get the attention more of the National Guard. They'll be like, what's going on over there? Look at all those tigers. Look at those majestic eagles. We better go save that lady first. See? That's what I think.
You are not well.
Anyway, guys, we'll see you Wednesday. Go take a nap. Go have a snack. Don't forget, tomorrow is a holiday. You do not have to ship tomorrow if you don't want to. I, for one, will be enjoying having 3 days where I don't have to do any shipping. But if you want to get ahead of the game, then you can go for it. Otherwise, have a good weekend. We will see you on Wednesday and over in the boss group. All right? Sound good?
All right.
You good?
All right.
You good?
Bye.